Morning, everyone. But I looks at the waiting room this morning. A lot of you are surprised to see me. I don't know why you're surprised to see me. Made of tough stuff, me. How am I feeling today? A wee bit better. Head's cleared. No feeling so lethargic. No muscle pain. Just a wee bit off. Hopefully by tomorrow I've cleared it. Sarah, well, no so good. But me, I seem to be able to brush these things off when they hit me. So I am a wee bit off colour, but no by much, and no enough to take me off the air. All right, so let's see who's in. Hi Mel, hi Bratton, hi June, hi George, hi Margaret Mackay, good morning Anne, Jeanette, Doug, Margaret Hitchens, Rosie McGregor, Desiree. Don't worry, Desiree, I'll no shove it, I'll no push it. Ange, work, I'm feeling a lot better, and Sarah's still feeling pretty well off. Morning, Spanner Mac. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Last Braveheart. Morning, Alistair. Morning, Jamie Dodger. Hi, Rosie. Morning, Diane. Hi, Scott. John. Robert. Liebchen. Struggling to make ends meet, hen. A lot of people in your position, I can assure you. I can assure you that. We do our best to help. Morning, Linda. Good morning there, Davy. Morning, George. Morning, Christina and Kirsty. Right, I think we've got you all so far. We're just about the 100 mark. So let's get this underway, shall we? Sunday Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office on the 18th to the 12th, 2025. Where it is dry, mild, mostly cloudy, 6 degrees. High today will be 9 degrees. Humidity is at 87%. Wind speed 9 to 23 miles per hour. So a brisk breeze. And the pollen count doesn't count. That's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look at your own bloody window. Thank you, Alistair. You're a star, a real star. These are all stars. And the baby banks will do well at the beginning of January, get them a good start for the year. Okay, let's get this underway. First up this morning, we've got the two rags I don't put up, the Rancid and the Scum. And they're both on the same story. Different headlines, same story. But the Rancid has hounded out of Celtic. Parkhead boss quits after threats and intimidation. And this is the news that Peter Law has quit as chief executive of Celtic. And the Scum has Celt's chief quits over threats, fan threats. Football fans are funny people, aren't they? I mean, I've watched the Celtic fans, especially with that last transfer window, where they're shouting about 90 million quid in the bank. They don't understand that's not a lot of money. They're wanting to spend big. All right, and you want a couple of decent players, 25 million a pop. Wages, 1.5 to 2.5 million a year. Let's say you give them a 5-year contract, you're paying that sort of money. So there's another 10 plus the tax. So you're now up at 40 to 50 million for one player. 90 million doesn't go far, Celtic fans. Get a grip, get real. And let's say they go around about the price tag that they're at the moment. About 11 million. There's another 500,000 to 750,000 a year for wages. Over 5 years. So you're at 15 million plus the tax, 17 million. Doesn't it go far when it's only 90 million? Celtic fans need to get a grip. That's not the sort of behaviour beholding at anybody actually threatening somebody because things are not going your way. Mental. Sports fans are funny. Right, let's get the Scotsman up. That should be the first one this morning. And the Scotsman has. Reeves denies policy linked to thousands of oil job losses. Chancellor under fire after rejecting windfall tax impact. Now, what's interesting about this, and Reeves coming under fire for this, folks, Reeves didn't introduce the windfall tax on energy companies and oil and gas companies. That was the previous Chancellor, or the one before him even. So, why is Reeves getting it in the neck and these others didn't get it in the neck? Well, the answer's simple. Jobs are being lost in the North Sea and energy prices are not coming down. For example, we've just been announcing the budget that our energy prices are going to drop by 150 quid. I get a letter in from my energy company yesterday. And here's what the sly buggers are doing. Yep, they're lowering the unit price, but they're sticking up the standing charges. So, as of January, my electricity bill will rise from £3,084 a year to £3,118 a year. So, I haven't saved nothing. The energy companies have outsmarted the Chancellor. What have the energy companies done? Aye, sure, Chancellor will drop the energy costs by 150 quid, but we'll stick 120 quid to 150 quid on the standing charges. So there you go, folks. With the Chancellor's discount, I'm still 117 quid worse off come January. Naughty steps, isn't it? Well, that's what happens when you're late. You'll be sitting next to the elves on the shelf, watching the wee buggers. Right, after the Scotsman, we'll get the Herald. What did the Herald tell us? What's the Herald telling us this morning? If I can find it. Social care system is failing, says damning new report. Well, John, thank you very much. That's very good of you. The van. John, the van driving legend. John, have you been back to driving vans? You at the truck? Well, anyway, thanks very much, John. Very generous of you. Thank you. Now, this is interesting, this one for the Herald. If I had £1 for every time I seen a report telling us one of your public services don't function properly, or that they're falling to bits, or that they won't work, or they're unsustainable, and yet day in, day out, the system functions. Social care system is failing, says damning Europe. At least we've got a fucking social care system, folks. As to failing, well, the biggest problem seems to be bed blocking, because we can't get the social care sorted out at council level. But thanks very much, Sir Larry. I am feeling better. But the interesting thing about that is we wanted to centralise social care and create a social care system which mirrored and worked in tandem with the NHS. But the councils wouldn't give the power out of central government to create it. It's all there, all set up, all ready to go. But the local authorities won't give you the power to the central government to put a national care service in place. So if there is failings in the social care service, you can look at your local authorities for that, because they're the ones that are stopping it being standardised right across Scotland and becoming a national care service to mirror the NHS. So if there's problems in social care, it's not the Scottish government you want to be looking at. They have a system ready to go. It's the local authorities you need to be looking at. So if you want a national care service, start bartering into your council and tell them to hand the power out to central government. Right, down with the Herald. and I mean permanently. Next up, we've got Lonely Raggy Express. This one cracks me up. The Lonely Raggy Express is just about to lose its remaining 4 or 5 readers here in Scotland because it's backing the Tories. And what it says is, folks, we back Scottish Tories' new campaign to halt rates rise for struggling businesses. Swinney must call time on crippling SNP tax hikes. Well, as far as I know, rate relief for small businesses here in Scotland is actually very good. But more importantly, the Daily Express backs the Scottish Tories. Well, that's the last of their fucking readership out the window because they've already moved to Reform. So, but call time on crippling SNP tax hikes. Now, this English rag doesn't seem to understand Scotland or its culture. We don't mind paying our fucking taxes. We know how to equate tax with good public services. John, you know, you didn't need to use 50 quid to the baby banks to tell us it's YouTube that's messed up your handle. I'm glad to hear you're still in the truck. Glad to hear you're still in the truck. Somebody to replace me when I come off the road. But thank you very much, John. You've been hell of a generous this morning. Right, let's get back to this. Aye, taxes. You know, as I say, the small business rate relief scheme here in Scotland is very, very good. But more importantly, these English rags don't get it. They just don't get it. We're no averse to paying tax here. It's the wrong way to go about things here. They don't seem to understand our culture. We can equate good public services with taxation. So we pay our fucking taxes. Simple as that. And if the tax needs to go up to maintain the level of service we have, then we'll pay fucking more tax. These English rags posing as Scottish rags, they don't get us at all, do they? They don't understand the people, the culture, fuck all. They just print a rag which is fucking London-centric with the word Scottish on it. Tax is a good thing. Don't know how many times I've got to explain this. And if you want good public services, pay your fucking tax. Which is what we do here in Scotland. Right, after the knuckle-dragging rag, it should be the fail. Here we go. The other right-wing lonely rag. The people who read this are just that wee bit above knuckle-dragging, but no much. And what's this quote? Pressure on Constantine after grilling by MSPs as she's warned position is now untenable. Just how long can squirming minister cling on? Well, here's a news flash for you, English fucking rag. Angela will be in the job as long as John wants her to be in the job. Why? Because there's fuck all you, yuns. Whether it be you a paper or the yuns in Holyrood can fucking do about it. There's many us than what there is of yous in that parliament. And you can throw as many votes of no confidence as you want at us. We'll go to the majority. There'll no matter a fuck. All you're doing is wasting parliamentary time. And eventually, the presiding officer will need to point that out to you and start denying you your motions of no confidence because they're not going to go anywhere, they're not going to do anything. So how long can Angela hang on? Well, she just passed a vote of no confidence, which we'll talk about this afternoon. As for squirming, away you go, you fucking pony rag. No concept whatsoever on how things work. I say another one of these rags that's got the word Scottish in it, but I'm no Scottish at all. Understand nothing. Right, after the knuckle dragger's rag, Mark 2. We'll get the times. Let's see what this English-centric piece of junk's got on its screen for us a day. Sorry, on its front page for us a day. Well, police will stamp out Intifada chants as threats of violence grows. And this tells us that the police have to crack down on more pro-Palestine activists, more people protesting the ongoing genocide in Gaza. So they're going to continue to crack down on the right to protest down that road. And apparently, intifada chants, anybody making them will be arrested. Right. Inquiry to examine Iran's role in a referendum is the main headline. And what it says underneath that is investigation into interference in UK politics. Well, the last place you'd go looking for interference in UK politics is Iran. It's the very last place you'd go. Why is it the last place you'd go? Because they're no influencer of politics. Of the politics at Westminster or Holyrood. They're no. You want to know who's influencing the politics at Westminster right now? It's Israel. It's the US. In the previous administration, it was Russia. So what the fuck are they looking at Iran for? We know fine well, at this point in time, outside interference is coming from Israel and America. And we know that under Boris Johnson and the administrations that came afterwards, and before Boris Johnson's premiership, then it was the Russian oligarchs that were interfering in UK politics. We know this, because the Russian report has been published. Heavily redacted, but published. This is nonsense. It would appear that Iran's to be made the bogeyman and the cover for Israel's influence on the front bench down that road. Because we know at this point in time, the whole front bench is owned by the Israel lobby. It's as bad as America these days with Zionist Prime Minister Starmer. The man who tells us there's no genocide in Gaza, the man who seems to be able to sleep easily at night while weapons he's been supplying to the Zionist genocidal regime have been killing children. And there are thousands. That's why the Israelis shout no schools in Gaza, because all the kids are dead. You're absolutely correct, Sir Larry. We'll put that up. Well, the Tories were in power. We were calling London Londongrad. Fuck. Iran has no influence in the politics, but it would appear Iran's to be scapegoated for some reason. I guess they're trying to take our eyes off Israel. They're trying to take our eyes off the genocidal state. Not going to happen, no. Ain't going to happen. And of course, after the Times, we have the Telegraph. And what's it telling us today? Well, the Telegraph is telling us the cost of rejoining the Erasmus scheme will be 8 billion quid. So 8 billion quid cost of EU student exchange is the headline. Bargain. Absolute bargain. Chicken feed and a bargain for the cultural exchange and the knowledge that the people will gain from this, especially our young people. And it will make us better for it. It will give us much more balanced and level-minded generations coming through. 8 billion quid to get back into Erasmus and Stein Erasmus is a fucking bargain. A bargain. Now let's get rid of the Telegraph. But once again, the bemoaning costs. They want public services, but they want them for fucking nothing. Next up is a national, and it's got the most important story of the day on the paper, on the front page, as far as I'm concerned, but that's a personal thing. Fears grow for hunger strikers. Now, folks, I don't know if you're aware of this, but yesterday, the prison service were refusing to phone an ambulance for a dying hunger striker. And Zara Sultana and a couple of GPs showed up to check on her, and they were refused entry, even though they were aware that she was collapsing. The prison service then phoned the police to move them on. And when the police showed up, they went into the jail and asked why nobody'd phoned the fucking ambulance for this collapsing prisoner. Well, there's an answer for that. Why didn't they phone an ambulance? Well, because the duty of care was no there. Used to be that the state was responsible for your care. 2012 Social Care Act, Health and Social Care Act on that road did away with that. But there's a further level where the state has neglected its responsibilities here, because it took away these people's liberties. So they couldn't look after themselves. So they have a duty of care for the prisoners. But it appears fucking not. When the police have got to ask the prison why they haven't phoned the fucking ambulance for a dying prisoner, we've got problems here. Big problems. But more importantly, number 10, and the Justice Secretary, Mr. Lammy, are ignoring this situation. They're quite willing to let these kids die, let these innocent people die. In this case, I think the young lady was 22 years old. She's been on hunger strike for 47 days. In fact, she's only 20-year-old. And as I say, the doctors that showed up to try and check on her because they wouldn't phone an ambulance, they were bloody well arrested. This is worrying stuff, folks. This is really, really worrying stuff. An MP shows up at a prison with 2 doctors in tow because she knows that a prisoner's dying, and the prison denies the medical folk especially access. Wow. Wow. And then the police show up. I hope somebody in that prison service down that road faces charges. Whoever was in charge of the prison at the time should be fucking arrested and charged. And Rosie, you're right, she's only a kid, 20-year-old. These people are in there for criminal damage. They're political prisoners. And the system was willing to let this 20-year-old die. Think about that. Just think about that. The government of today, to shield the genocidal state, was willing to let a 20-year-old kid, a citizen, die. If you're no fucking angry, you're no paying attention. If you're no angry, you're no paying attention. And the apathy I see in the street is fucking mind-bending. Mind-bending. As their civil liberties are ripped up down that fucking road. Even to the point where they're going to let a kid die in jail for a wee bit of criminal damage. Fucking vandalism. Wow. Tell you what, I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I'm not feeling great today, but the blood's pumping. That's not acceptable. That shower of shite. The public servants who don't want to serve the public had the duty of care to this young lady. Somebody needs arrested! Lammy and whoever was in charge of the prison at the time need to be arrested. Oh, for fuck's sake. Next up, we've got the eye. I don't understand why the people in England are no charging down that parliament and putting these civil servants in their fucking place. The eye has. UK peacekeepers getting ready to deploy to Ukraine. Well, in which case then there'll be no security left here at home. The kids are no signing up and they can fuck their dad's army. Russia's no done nothing to me. Iran's no done nothing to me. In fact, as far as I can see, the negative influence in this world is fucking Westminster and is fucking Washington. And Israel. These are the negative influences on this fucking planet. Fortunately, Trump's putting an end to the US influence, and Starmer's killing off any influence the UK might have on the world stage. Thankfully. The big orange man baby is heading for probably a retirement home in the form of an open prison to be nursed through his final years of whatever whatever's causing his cognitive decline. The one that worries me is fucking Starmer. Him and Blair are still striding across this planet. Blair should be in the fucking Hague and Starmer should be in the Hague. And I don't think there's many people would argue with that. No, Hootsman, I never said it was going to be too old to do the show. I said I would schedule it, and if I was going to cancel it, I would let you know. It's a flu. I'm not dying. Right. Next up, we'll get metal. Footy-loving PM takes on Abramovich. Starmer and 2.5 billion Chelsea transfer demand. Right, Abramovich has just sold Chelsea for 2.5 billion. The transaction took place out with the UK. Nothing Starmer can do about it. And he wants Abramovich to give the money to the Ukraine. Abramovich has all his assets so far frozen. He's only just got fit with a team back, I believe, so he could sell it. And he's no getting his money away. No matter how he got his money, he's no getting it away. Billionaires don't give away money, they don't pay fucking taxes. And as for Starmer and 2.5 billion Chelsea transfer demand all he fucking wants. Starmer's finished. It's just a matter of how much longer he's got to go. He's finished. And I hope when the replacement comes in, he gets rid of all the muppets in the cabinet right now and asks the authorities to fucking well arrest them. Alright. Right, books away, so that means only one thing. And that is there's only the star left. So let's get the star up and see what stars go for us today. Well, the stars on the darts. Apparently. Germans lieben die Ali Pali. Germans loving the Ali Pali. I'm assuming he's a darts player. Because here we throw, Mr. we throw, and then here werden where. hier werfen wir, which stands for here we throw. So there you go. So it's definitely darts. I'm not a darts fan. So if it's on and I come across it, if there's a short on YouTube and I come across it, I maybe watch a clip, but that's about it. And 180. So there you go, 180. It would appear that the Daily Star of Scotland is bilingual. There you go. Pete's Music, thanks very much. And if I missed any, I do apologise. You've all been very generous today. All been very, very generous. Right, let's get rid of the star. I'll be back tomorrow, folks. 10:30. As usual. And that'll be the last one to Christmas Day. I'm taking City Fire's advice, and I'm going to take a silly season off for the daily reports and the afternoon show, because it's a silly season. There's nothing there. But normal service will resume after Christmas Day. After the Christmas Day show, 12 to 4. Join us if you can. There'll be a link up so you can actually come on and speak to us if you want. And after that, normal service will resume when business as usual resumes in Scotland on the 3rd of January. All right. But we'll see you tomorrow morning. By then, I'm hoping to feel a lot better. I maybe get out and even see Thomas MacArthur and give him a wee hand with his project. We'll see how it goes. But thank you all for your kind generosity today. Didn't know anything by that. And thanks to the moderators for moderating. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. And a wee bit rantastic this morning, because I was feeling up for a wee rant. See you all tomorrow morning. Be good. Look after